Hi, this is Matthew from the Five Steps Project. Through the years, I've worked on different projects to try to start a community center. One of the key ones was in Uganda with my friend Benson there. And he did a lot of work to help to document the problems that the orphans and the local people in Zero, Uganda were experiencing. And I did a lot of work to build a website and contact people that might want to contribute to that project. I contacted a lot of celebrities that I knew about, not that I knew personally, but that I knew about, that I liked. And I thought they're talented, and these people have a lot of resources, and maybe they'd like to be part of a program that is not just throwing money away. It's not just a handout. It's not throwing money down a well, and it's not paying CEOs of companies huge money. It's going directly to the project to help the people, and it's a sustainable project. So the one we had in Uganda was it was a 1 year investment of time and energy and a little bit of money, and the people after that would be empowered to go go uh, and expand from there themselves without additional handouts. And we carefully worked very hard to design a project that was sustainable, where it's one thing to just throw money or throw a school. For example, I know Oprah did that. She threw some schools. What you really need to do is you need to change the culture. You need to change the whole culture. People are used to doing this. Like, for example, in Zero, one of the only jobs that people can get if they don't live in the nearby city, Kampala, and they have the education and they have the opportunity, one of the most available jobs is breaking rocks. Sit on the ground outside near a quarry with a small hammer, break these rocks into smaller pieces, put them on the back of a pickup truck, and then get paid for that. And I can't remember what people are getting paid, but I do remember that they barely got enough to eat for the day. So you have a job like this, and this is true all over the world in the very high poverty areas. Uh, you have no opportunity to build a real lifestyle, for example, in Zero, the public toilets outside are just really, really dirty and just poorly maintained. And there's no culture and there's no opportunity. So here's another key factor. When you grow up as a kid, most people like me in the West, we're really lucky. We had our parents, they did jobs, they sent us to school, they bought us clothes, they fed us, and we had what we needed to grow up to a certain point to where we were ready to move out on our own. And we were in an environment that provided the resources and the networking that we built up through the years so that we could go out on our own. These people don't have that. These people that are in like a billion people that are in poverty today. And, a lot of people in America. America is considered all over the world to be a very rich country. In a lot of ways, it is really rich if you watch TV. But if you actually go to the inner city and you go to some of the areas, especially with minorities, especially with a lot of Black people, not only Black people, but there are a lot of Black areas that are underrepresented, that are don't have opportunities. And it's, Chicago. I worked in Chicago. It's just that was 2015, 2013. I worked on some community projects there. Just ridiculous how the government was doing absolutely nothing about it. But the police came in, shoot people, and people would shoot each other, and it's frustrating as hell. Okay, long story short, it's going to be a little bit long video. You can see here, this is Vanessa Lau, and this, I guess, is her romantic interest. I don't know. I haven't been watching her lately, so I don't know if they're married or just a boyfriend or long term, but they look pretty serious. You can see there's a Porsche car parked there, and then there's a Wrangler. She's selling her super expensive Porsche. What basically I contacted her because I like her so much. I just admire her so much for her business acumen, her skills. She was working for I think a cosmetic company until 2018 or something, and then she jumped on the internet, and she's just a whiz. She's just really, really bright. I think she's Canadian, but her blood is, I think, Southern China. I think she's Cantonese. Lau is like a Cantonese kind of a name. So I think her family was originally from Southern China, but I think she's Canadian. That's why she's fluent in English, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, she's just a whiz. And I remember sending her messages that never get answered. The people that get in these positions to where they're successful and they got money or they're famous, I've contacted so many of them and I've got nothing back. There were two that had teams that were so cool that they did answer me before they shut me down, because they're not set up to do humanitarian things. They're set up to maybe, well, Tony Robbins is one of them. Okay. His team Tony Robbins, they answered me. We had one or two or three back and forth. And because I didn't qualify legally, I didn't have all the paperwork. They wouldn't even talk to me. They wouldn't even, I couldn't even get to Tony. And okay, so fine, at least they answered. So even though they didn't give me the time of day and they didn't even want to hear my project or what was going on or what I was planning, they didn't want to waste any time on that, because it's all about business. It's all about the money. The money is the center. Tony will buy, I don't know how many meals. I think he's up to like crazy number, like 1 million Thanksgiving meals. That doesn't do anything to the culture. It doesn't change anything. You throw somebody a meal, all it is demeaning. I have absolutely no interest in that. If somebody's starving, help them not starve, die, which the kids in Yemen are doing. And if you follow my work, you'll know that I have a special place in my heart for these kids that are starving to death in Yemen, while people in these upper echelons of the world are deciding they're going to spend money on a Porsche. Pardon my French, I almost spoke. And they're not doing anything for these kids. They're not doing a damn thing. And sitting and writing a check for $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 if you're a millionaire don't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to sit and write a check or to tell your assistant, oh, transfer money to those kids that are starving. That doesn't mean dick. You know why? Because what it takes is community. It takes your commitment. It takes your time. It takes your interest. It takes your caring. But what do these people do? They go and they plan another concert. You know how much time the people that are in a real position to help with resources, because first of all, they got a lot of money, so they can help to build community centers and they can help to build an infrastructure. I'm talking about greenhouses and farms and, sewing machines, ways to get jobs, opportunity to empower people, not throw a bone at them like they're a dog. You know how much time these people spend on that? They spend no time at all. They've got assistants that maybe will spend, a few minutes on that. How many of them, like Angelina Jolie, actually show up? How many? So where was I? I don't know that Vanessa Lau spent any real time. And I admire her for her skills, but I don't admire her for her ignorance about what's going on in the world, what's really going on with most of the people, and with the people are dying. What's more important, your new Porsche or a dead baby? What do you care about more? 14,000 children will die in their mother's arms today and every single day for preventable causes. Preventable. That means that we can save them, but we're not saving them. And don't tell me about the numbers. I don't care if things are getting better or not. It doesn't matter, because it's taken forever. Now you got a baby in your arms that's going to die tomorrow from starvation, from terminal diarrhea, because you don't get clean water. You can't get clean water. Do you think that somebody telling you, oh yeah, but yesterday it was 15,000, so now it's only 14,000, you think that means anything to you at all? What's your level of urgency in your life? And Vanessa, I tried to contact you. You didn't answer me. You had an infrastructure for selling your courses, for making more money, to building your empire. And I admire you for that. That's great. but I certainly don't admire you for not answering my questions. What you needed to do back in your heyday was read your freaking emails, read your messages from people like me. I don't care if you say no, at least you answer. That's what Team Tony did. That's what Gary Vaynerchuk did. His team answered me, but they shut me down. That's okay. My project was not for everybody. That's totally fine. But at least put yourself in a position where you're going to answer. Okay, now what's Vanessa doing? Liquidating everything. She says in her letter, and I'm subscribed to her, and I just got this letter a few minutes ago. That's why I'm doing this video. She built herself a lifestyle that she didn't appreciate, so she's going on an indefinite sabbatical. She shut down all her programs, fired all her people. She went from, I don't know, she said 6 or how many people, 16 or something, and now she's down to one assistant, I guess, to handle things for her. We have a world right now where if you're shrewd and you're confident and you're capable all around money, you can build an empire and you can get your slaves working for you. And that's why we've got kids in Ziri, Uganda, breaking big rocks into small rocks for not enough money to eat. It's this kind of exploitation of shrewdness, of money shrewdness, of ability to manipulate, control, handle, and especially exploit others that this world is based on. We're in a money-centered world, okay? Just look at all the things, all the evil things people do every day based on money. Soldiers are the worst because you pay them a living, you fill their head full of bull about, oh, you're spreading democracy and all this other stuff, and then you go kill those guys. Go drop a bomb on that wedding of Muslims, and life goes on. And the Muslims with the dead family, the ones that survive, life goes on because nobody cares. It doesn't matter. They have got a huge issue. They have got a huge right to say, look at how screwed up this world is. Look at how screwed up this military is. Look at how misled these hired killers are to come to my country, come to my wedding, and blow up my family. What the hell? And that's what's happening, and that's what happens all the time, and nobody's doing anything about it. And that's why I do what I do, to try to let people know there's something wrong here, and you know that, and don't be a little baby and put your head in the sand about it. There is something we can do about it, and I have figured out what we can do about it and how we can do that, and I know exactly how to do that. Very, very few people can get outside their bubble of money, their bubble of success, their bubble of their games and things like that, because they were born a blue blood. They were taken care of. Their parents had connections. Look at Elon Musk. Great guy, genius. I can't fault him for that. And I can't criticize that. But what I can say is that how much time does that guy, here's a guy who has the genius to be able to take care of these kids, not pay, re-engineer cultures enough so that these 14,000 children don't die every day. He could drop that number incredibly within 6 months. You think that guy will ever answer my questions? I contacted his brother, no answer. I contacted his mother, no answer. Why? Because they're not set up to be compassionate in their actions. They're set up to be selfish. That's their world. That's all Vanessa ever did. Now she reached a realization because she's a bright girl. She built a world that was money-centered. Will I ever get a chance to talk to her? Will we ever get a chance to have a conversation so that I can learn from her and she can learn from me? I think I know what I know. Challenge me. See if I'm wrong about what we need to do, about how screwed up and money-centered the world is, and how people will throw a bone at you, whether it's a Thanksgiving meal, whether it's an excuse, whether it's they write a check, it takes 10 seconds to do that. Now it doesn't even take that long. You do a money transfer over the internet with your banking app. But most people don't really think outside the box. Vanessa didn't. And now she's realizing she paid for it. I don't know. It looks like they're going to go on a trip. I don't think she mentioned that. Maybe they are going to go on a trip, those two. All the best to her. All the best to her guy there. But she's just another one bites the dust. The thing that changed her mind, the thing that made a big difference here, if she was going to die in 3 years, what would she do today? Got her thinking. And then the second question that made a lot of difference to her, why are you waiting? Why are you waiting until you to do? And people don't think about their lives. People don't evaluate their own lives. People are so unconscious. They're caught up in Dancing with the Stars. 14,000 children dying in their mother's arms every single day that could be saved. And especially the super rich. You don't see much of them. And, Bill Gates is an engineer, right? The guy's got a whole lot of money. He's got a huge foundation. He's doing a lot of really, really good work, but he's not re-engineering cultures. He's not really empowering people. He's throwing vaccines at people. He's throwing a new toilet technology. That's exciting. I'm being sarcastic, but actually, seriously, toilets are a really important thing if you've looked into it, because the hygiene can be a real problem in very high poverty areas. So toilets are a good thing. But he throws technology at people. But what he doesn't throw at people is empowerment. Okay, if you don't die from an infection from a dirty toilet environment, sanitation problems, that does empower you to live. But it doesn't empower you to find a job, to read and write, to interact on a business level, to know who you are and what you want to be. That's empowerment. You see anybody doing that? Do you see the US government doing that? Got people living in tents all over the country. It's ridiculously stupid from my standpoint, but I was just always from a kid outside the box thinker. So most people, they don't go there. They don't think about this. And that's fine. Fish got to swim, birds got to fly. I was born the way I am. I can't take credit for anything. I was just born that way. So, but to me, it's obvious. To me, it's so damn obvious. Vanessa, I tried to contact you. You've known for years, or you've been told for years. I'm glad you're finally coming around. Maybe you can help other people that are so greedy, so money driven, so self-centered, so ignorant, so misled that they think that buying a Porsche, getting a big house, having this huge salary, having a huge team working for them, that means anything in life. What means anything to you? I'll tell you what means to me. What means the most to me, where my quality of life is, what I'm trying to do. Every little kid, that's lives in a house, it's a dirt floor or a shack. I've been there, I've seen this. They don't have enough food to eat, or they're eating some kind of crappy gruel. They're drinking water full of worms, and it kills them and they die. And this number of 14,000 kids a day is ages 0 to 5. A lot of it is also prenatal care, where the mother doesn't have what she needs, and maybe the mother dies giving birth to a baby. I've got a friend in Uganda, and she's lost 2 babies. Why? Because she couldn't get care. She couldn't get the care that she needed. She couldn't afford it. What is she doing? She's actually building a community center, helping to educate girls that are at risk, because rich guys from the city will come out to the countryside, say, hey, I'm going to give you a great life. They exploit these girls, use them, and then throw them away. Why does a girl offer herself like that? Why are they attracted to that? Why is sex trafficking a huge thing all over the world, including the United States? Because these women have this attractiveness to men, which is born in our it's in our blood, it's in our DNA. We want to reproduce. Sometimes that's all girls have to offer, because they don't have an opportunity for anything else. They don't have an opportunity to have a job, support themselves. They don't have the opportunity to meet a nice man who can help them to build a nice home. They don't have any other options but their sexuality. So they sell that. And along with that goes their soul. And that's what's happening in this world. Go on, build another microprocessor. Go on, go to the moon. Talk about living on Mars. Good for you. Get another car. This car's all electric. Focus on building recharging stations all over. Or think about that mother watching her baby die, taking its last breaths, and there's not a damn thing she can do about it. And you're not doing anything about it either.